Hello there guys, Feng here, and welcome to Game Corp DX. Okie dokie then. So Game Corp DX is a game making management and simulation game by Endless Loop Studios. Now of course this game is very similar to the other types of games that you've seen me play on the channel, like Game Dev Tycoon and GamersGoMakers, Mad Games Tycoon, etc, etc. I've got a bit of a soft spot for these types of games. I absolutely love them. And this one I've actually been keeping an eye on. This one got greenlit and it was in early access. It recently come out of early access and I figured I'd give it a whirl. And that's exactly what I did. So we're going to play a little bit through it. And obviously we'll talk about stuff and even more stuff, which is fantastic. Now I'd love to show you the options menu. Unfortunately, I have no idea why, but as soon as you press apply, which that's the only thing you can do to actually get back onto the main menu. If you press apply, for some reason Bandicam loses it and it splits it into bits, which is not what I want. But the options menu is fairly decent. You've got key bindings, you've got separate sound audio sliders, which is fantastic. And you've also got stuff like panning windows, pan speed, edge scrolling and stuff like that. So you know, there's actually pretty decent amount of options. There's even anti-aliasing, which is at ×8 at the moment, and it's running at 900 FPS, which is fantastic. Alright, let's start a new game. Now the one thing I will say about this game that I've noticed is that it's actually kind of difficult. It really is. Even though the mechanics with the game are a tad bit easier, it's a bit more basic than a lot of these other ones like Mad Games Tycoon and GamersGoMakers. It's still quite difficult. I managed to get through on casual pretty easily on the campaign. I think I got to the last kind of objective and didn't really bother doing it. And then I did play it on challenge mode, which is kind of different. You basically get everything unlocked on challenge mode right from the start, but you got to try and get a certain amount of changes in a certain amount of time. It's pretty damn difficult. And I did it on normal, and I actually failed every single timed challenge. So that's fantastic. So we're going to go for the campaign. We are going to play on normal. There is hard as well, but as I said, yeah. Idle workers are bankruptcy waiting to happen. Fantastic. So let's go with the studio name. We're going to go with Fengterprises, because why not? I should really trademark that. I never thought I'd do that. Maybe I should. Anyway, let's have a look for the icon we can have. There's quite a few different ones. I actually quite like that one. We'll go with that one. Okie dokie, let's start. So, yay! I don't need tutorial. I know what I'm doing. Yes, I can skip it. It's fine. Welcome to the game. Yes, I know. I just followed the guide. Yeah, okay, I know. Right, so here's the game. It looks, graphic-wise, it looks very basic. You'll probably notice that in the title menu you saw the kind of graphical style that's very similar to Prison Architect. You know, it's actually fine because, I mean, even though it's rather basic, it still shows, you know, different variances in the actual characters, so that's pretty cool. I mean, Rimworld did it in the very early of their alpha, so yeah. Now the great thing I love about this game, I absolutely love, and it's the one thing I criticise the most in these types of games, there is a pause button and there's an absolute fast forward button. Fantastic! That's a good start. It's a great start. So we start off with not an awful lot of money, but at least we've got some stuff already built. So these are workstations. To hire people, we've got to click on them, hire a worker, and this is our choice. So as you can see, all these don't really have any experience, so we'll talk about the stats in a bit. But as you can see, there is a price associated with these. So as you can see, this one is actually more expensive than Michael C and Charles I. The reason for that is that these actually have negative traits. So as you can see, Michael C is hungry and he has to have more regular trips to the fridge, and Charles I is thirsty, who uses the water cooler often. So there is kind of the Sims aspect. You've got to make sure that people are eating and drinking, but that's pretty much as it is. That's fairly basic, you know. So I think we're going to go ahead and hire the one that has no negatives. Although we are going to have to hire 2 to start off with. So we're going to have to go ahead and hire one of these. Doesn't really matter. So I'm going to hire this one. There we go. As you can see, we already start off with a fridge. Sandwich, no bonus. Lol. Water cooler, water, no bonus. Fantastic. So, what do we do? What do we do now? Well, first of all, we're going to go ahead and just let time tick a little bit. So I'm going to fast forward it and we'll wait for people to come. So here we go. Here's our work. It's fantastic. They are now ready to work. They're currently doing sod all. So, how do you make money in the game? Well, you're going to make games. Pretty simple. Yeah? Very simple indeed. It says they actually build a training cubicle. We can go ahead and do that. So this here is your project summary. So if you're working on a project, by the way, you can actually drag this anywhere, which is fantastic. So you can see what's currently going on with the project. This is actually, you're actually going to probably want this on pretty much all the time. So I'm going to just keep that there. We've got manage current projects. There's currently a current project list, which obviously we've got nothing going at the moment. Although I think max is 5. I don't think you can actually increase that at all, from what I remember. But we're going to start a new project. So this is all the stuff that you have access to. You get access to all these from the start. Unfortunately, there's no such thing as research, really. The only thing that you do is train your workers to basically use better tools. So for the first one, let's go ahead and see what we can do. So as you can see, there is a random name generator. I tend to keep it like that anyway. You know, you will be making a lot of games. If anything, once we get to the large stuff, we'll name our own games and whatnot. So let's go with this one. So as you can see, these hearts basically mean fans. So if I was to go ahead and make a shooter, that would mean that we'd attract more fans and it will sell better. Pretty simple, straightforward. It does show you what kind of stuff you'll need. Obviously, we've got no stats in ours anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, this is where we assign what each team member does. So currently, our team members are doing absolutely jack shit. We have nothing. They're not specialised in anything, and they're absolutely atrocious, basically. So we're going to go ahead and assign Reginald to do both code and art. And we'll get Michael C to do both sound and writing. Pretty simple and straightforward. You can also sort these by hiring date, total skills, skill group. I like to keep mine by skill group, even though we've got no skills at the moment. So a micro game only requires 2 workers, as you can tell. The great thing about micro games as well is that they do give you a lot more of an experience bonus than the other types of games. So for new employees, you're probably best off giving them to work micro games until their experience gets out. Experience gain in this game is pretty fast if you're just making micro games. In fact, I would say it's a bit too fast, but there we go. So what they'll do is they'll have to go to the table, which we'll do if we just press play. There we go. So they'll go to the table and they'll plan. So this pre-production thing will actually start generating stars. Now this is the quality of the game itself. So as you can see, we've already got 7 stars. And they'll then start working on their particular production stats even. I'm not with it today, am I? So yeah, as you can see now, this particular worker, this one here, will just, not that one. That one will just basically just stay there and just go. You can't do nothing else with him. You can't even train him until this particular thing is done. So, yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead. There we go. Now we can publish it. So publishing is pretty straightforward. You've got a marketing budget. You can either choose to have no marketing budget whatsoever. Oh shit, we need to pause that. Or we can decide to have a small marketing budget. So the small one actually only costs 1,000, but because our quality is not particularly great, I'm just going to go ahead and publish it with no marketing budget. Now you'll notice these unlocks in Vancouver, unlocks in Montreal, unlocks in San Francisco. So as you play for the campaign, once you acquire certain things, you can then go ahead and move to that particular location. Now you don't. Here's the weird thing about moving to a location. You don't have to rebuild your building; it just stays as it is. So basically, moving to an area unlocks new stuff. That's pretty much it. So we're going to go ahead and publish that. Now this is, I actually love this screen. This is fantastic. It shows you the quality. It shows you what kind of game it is. It shows you your how many fans you attracted, and it also gives you a rough. Yeah, we got Total Crumpet, VGN, Boulder Paper Shotgun, Kotaku, or Kotaku, as that should be. And it just gives you a rating system. As you can see, this is a fucking terrible game. Kind of to be expected. We use no tools and we've got no experience. So yeah, we'll be lucky if that even sells and makes a profit. That's to be expected. So next thing I'm actually going to do is going to go into build mode. Now this is pretty cool. There's not an awful lot of stuff you can actually build, which is unfortunate. But what you can build, as you can see, we can build a training cubicle. I'm going to go ahead and plop 2 of these down because we're going to need them. There we go. So that's used to learn new tools and to learn new specialists. As you can see, we can buy extra fridge and water coolers if we so desire. We can also buy a plant. We've already got a plant there, so we're fine with that. And you can also buy walls, which is what you need to keep the bugs out and the workers in. I love that. That's fantastic. So fairly basic. There is obviously other stuff here, but we'll get to that as we move on to other places. This is our chart. So as you can see, there is competition in the game. But we haven't actually got any competition at the moment, but we will do, so we need to be careful about that. And here's the studio info. If it loads up, there is a bit of lag with this particular one. I have no idea why. So as you can see, we have 2 workers. We've got no awards. I'll talk about that a bit later. How many games we've made, our money. You can have loans if you want. Not usually a very great idea to start off with. And you can also expand building area, which is only available in San Francisco, which is fantastic. You've got a graph here of your production, how much money you're getting, and your awards, your current awards. Now, the great thing about awards, these are held like every 3 months or so, or is it 4 months? I actually can't quite remember. But if you get these awards, you actually get a certain boost. So if we was to get the most productive studio award, we'd actually get cheaper wages, which is obviously nice because it means we get more revenue. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and skip that. Now, here's the weird thing about the game. Each day is a month. Yeah, you heard me right. Each day is a month, which means that there's kind of an urgency to make sure that you're not wasting time doing anything else. Make sure your work is actually doing stuff. So we're just going to go ahead and pause 2 seconds. As you can see, these pop up. Actually, I should probably pop that back down there. That's fine. So we build a trading cubicle. We need to publish a project now. Now I've already done that, but obviously I did that before I did the training cubicle, so I'll have to do that again in a bit. I think what I'm going to do is, yeah, this is only 3,000, so I'm going to go ahead and teach some specialisation. As you can see, we've already basically quarter-filled some of these bars in some places. So yeah, as I said, XP gain is quite quick. So we're going to train you, and we're going to train you. Yeah, you can be sound. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and just speed that things up a little bit. We will be earning revenue from the game that we made previously. You can actually look at that by viewing project statistics. As you can see, this is not currently making money. But as you can see, as time goes on, it will start making a profit. So this is only 1 month, by the way. The game's only been out 1 month and it's making profit, which is fantastic. I'm just going to go ahead and pause that 2 seconds. So as you can see, we've already made 481. It doesn't seem like a lot, but once you've got more games going and more games generating revenue, then it will get gradually more and more better. Now, games last for 12 months before they are took off the shelves. That's actually a pretty decent time frame, really, and you're always generating time in base, kind of like real time, but obviously not, because obviously a day's in a month, but, you know. Yeah, that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and start a new project. Okie dokie then. So let's start. Oh, let's have a racing one. And the racing one needs quite a lot of coding, quite a lot of sense. That's perfect for our setup. So as you can see, it's now highlighted because obviously Reginald is now our main coder. You do lose all the experience from the other kind of from the other stats once you do specialise, and there's no way to actually regain those back. Well, there is kind of a way. You can kind of unlearn specialist traits, but it doesn't seem to be much advantage to that unless you've been really stupid and got all coders and whatnot. So yeah. Now this is going to cost us $4,000. We have got enough, so that's fine. But we are going to want to use better tools. So as you can see, the cost of that has now gone up significantly. It's now at 9,133. But it's worth it. It will be worth it because it's better quality, and we'll probably end up getting more experience from it. So let's just speed things up a little bit. There we go. Now there is one really negative thing I've got to say about the game, which I'm a bit confused why the devs haven't decided to include this. There's no manual save, which is a bit weird. Now, I'd understand if the game was only meant to be played for, you know, a short amount of time, but the thing is, it's not. You know, games can last quite a few hours. So, there's no manual save, which is a bit weird. Now, I can't go to options, obviously, because but there's nothing in the options. It actually auto saves every month, and that's the only way you got it. But the thing is, if you want to play different types of games, if you've got an easy game going, maybe a hard game going, there's no easy way to tell where those saves are, because they're listed in auto saves as like auto saves. So you got to kind of guess. That's kind of the only real negative I have to say about the game at the moment. I'm hoping they decide to include the ability to save manually, which will obviously be a lot better. Now, what I might do here, I might actually go ahead and no, I'm not going to, because that quality is still pretty shit. So let's see. Oh, we got 1 star. We got 1 star from Total Crumpet. We got 1 star from Boulder Paper Shotgun, and we got half a star from Kotaku. Okay, so that's not particularly great. Racing games are usually good, but this, good lord, don't even think about it. I do love the I do love this. This is fantastic. Days as a bloody awful, mate. It's one of the worst games around. This is fantastic. I love that. Adds a bit of flavour to it. Really does. Anyway, as you can see, we've now published that, so we earned a bit of money. That's fantastic. Now we need to buy a plant. We've already got a plant, but I may as well go ahead and buy another one, because why not? You know, I'll just stick it. I'll stick it here, actually. There we go. So that's got that bit covered. Brilliant. Okay, so now we need either a total of 4 workers. Now, is that wise to do just yet? Probably not. I'm going to go ahead and make one more micro game before we even decide to hire a few more workers. So let's go ahead and start a new project. What we got this time? So the most popular is Adventure. Now, we don't really... Yeah, that's not particularly great. That's more like it. We can do some action, even though it's more artistic-y. Art, even. That's what I meant. And more spaced out again like that. Hopefully they'll earn a bit more experience. Hopefully we've got enough money for this. Yes, we have. We've actually generated quite a lot of money. That's probably from the rewards more than anything. So let's see how this one goes. As you can see, pre-production's already going higher, which is fantastic. And it's night time already. Brilliant. Make sure you match your marketing budget with the game quality. Dumping loads of money on the subpar game will not help. That's exactly what I've been trying to do. And we've got the awards hosting soon, which is fantastic. We might actually want to go ahead and try and hire those last 2. I think I'm right at this, Anna. Yeah, there's 2 there. So if we were to hire 2 more employees, we'd actually get that one award for the for having the most workers, most employees. No, I'm just going to put a normal budget on that. That's fine. So we've got Mass Terror. Yep. Oh, just depressing. They could be great, but due to many issues, turn out very poorly. Well, it's 1.5, 0, 1.5, and 1. You know, it's not particularly great. But at the end of the day, if they're generating revenue, then they're generating revenue. Simple as that. This one's already generated 4,000 in its 3rd month. That's actually pretty good. I wasn't that lucky last time. So, yeah. We're going to go ahead and hire some more workers. Okay, we've got a decent one there that doesn't have a negative. Now, the one I really hate is the late one. This one's late. Arrives later than usually. They usually arrive like a full hour late, sometimes even later than that. They're not. That's a really nasty trait to have. This one, thirsty more often, you know, I'm fine with that because the water cooler's right there. It's pretty close, so that's not really a big deal. Now, what we need to try and do is I need to try and get these to fill the gaps. So we need an art specialisation. So let's go ahead and do that. And we also are going to need the writing specialisations. Let's go ahead and get used to the writing. It's perfect because they don't have any experience anyway. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and do a new micro game. Let's do what's popular? Adventure. No. That's alright though. Strategy should be pretty easy. It's mainly coding. I might even get you just to the coding and use the other three. You can do that, you know, just trying to space it out depending on how much is needed. Obviously, there's a lot more coding needed for this particular game. More coding that's probably needed for doing both the writing and the sound and the art. So, we'll get Michael to do all three of those. Okie dokie then. Let's get sound. I really wish this would save. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's really weird. Anyway, let's leave that and we'll fast forward that. Brilliant. Good production so far. Good quality so far, I should say, not production. There we go. Hey, and here's the awards. So, let's see how this goes. I'm just going to keep pressing next because this can drag on a bit. So, cheaper wages, most productive is me. Yay, go me. Most beloved studio, as the most fans, is Vlampier. Fantastic. Employees work faster. Ooh, highest charted game is not me. Highest revenue is probably not me either. And that's me. Yay! I'm the largest studio. Fantastic. So at least I got 3 of them. I mean 2 of them. So that's fine. I'm okay with that. Cheaper wages is always nice, and more production is even better. Fantastic. Right, now we can pause that. Oh, it has paused. It did pause then. So I've got the option turned on. For some reason, it wasn't pausing properly. I don't know why. So that once you've actually finished a game, it'll pause so you can decide what you want to do for publishing. Now, since this is a 61, I'm going to go ahead and invest in some marketing budget for this. This should be a slightly better game. Yeah, we've got 3 stars, 1 star. Yeah, that's fine. Brilliant. Work experience is extremely important. A game made by a fully experienced team will be leaps and bounds better than a game by amateurs. Of course. So now we need to focus on a few more microgames. So basically we're just going to keep chugging out microgames for a while until we get the experience that we need. So you're going to concentrate on, actually you're going to concentrate on all 3, while Christopher F concentrates on the writing. Brilliant. And of course we will use these. These should be saving. I don't know why they're not saving. And we're going to start another new project. Now, the problem with starting this other new project is that we're going to need another table. So I'll get that done as soon as possible. Unfortunately, most of the good games require either writing or painting. So maybe we should try and just go for something a bit more. Yeah, that'll do. So we've got mainly strategy. So we've already made a strategy game, but we're going to make another one now because, well, just for shits and giggles, really. There we go. So that's cost quite a bit for us, really, but we should be seeing revenue made pretty soon. Oh yeah, I need to build that table, don't I? There we go. Separate table there. I'm going to go ahead and expand this particular table, like so. And I think I might actually move that to there. There we go. Fantastic. So we'll leave that like that. So obviously, due to the nature of the auto saves and whatnot, I'm probably just gonna. This is probably just gonna be a rather mini series rather than a full-fledged series. Mainly just due to the fact that the saving is dodgy. So I'll do it. I'll probably do the entire of it in this one recording session. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. So okay then, guys, I'm gonna stick a cut in here, and I'll see you next time.